Have you ever wondered how work got done in your organization? Well, this is the area that engineering operations tries to address. And in this session, you're going to learn the right questions to ask and just how to think and how to see about finding out about how your organization does business and technical work. Now, three things are involved. One is the rule set that we need to follow. Okay, there's the rules on how we hire people, how we do the engineering work, and how we pay people, even how we reserve resources. Like, let's say in an automobile company, there's a test track. So that rule set, the written rule set, we have to follow. Now, on top of that, we can improve our work and improve our efficacy by looking at guidance. Sometimes there's a lot of corporate guidance that isn't a rule. Okay, we're not going to lose our job if we don't do it, but it's guidance that will just pass on lessons learned, help us avoid pitfalls, but also share some best practices so that when we're designing, when we're doing our engineering, okay, our work, the fruits of our labor, will integrate into the larger system and be a higher quality. After we have a grasp of the rule set, now we can look at who will create the product. We need people to write code, cut metal, design FPGAs, to do the engineering work. Now, there have been times when I've been on a committee, let's say at work, on process improvement, and that was maybe on my free time. I'd work on lunches, maybe stay late one evening and do some committee work. That part's community service, and that should be part of our career. But here we're talking about paying people to do the engineering work. And also, let's say if we're hiring in a project manager or a project controller, we need to obviously pay those people too. So who's going to create the product? That could be people we matrix in, so we bring in from other departments. Maybe the electrical department has electrical engineers that they just form out to different teams. When the project's done, they go back to their head home quarters, their head home base, and then they just get assigned to the next project. So we matrix those people in. Other organizations have a larger line organization. So this department is responsible for this product and has electrical, mechanical engineers, might matrix in a project controller, but most of the people are in the department. One piece of your homework for that is just find out, who in your department. No, you don't want to just ask someone if they're matrixed. So just find out, are there a lot of people matrixed in, or just how projects are staffed. This is a better way to do it. Now then, after we've got the people, we have our rule set, and sometimes people staff it up and then consult the rule set. These aren't hard and fast sequences. There's a flow between all three of these. And the third is where, how, and with what resources we're going to do the work. So this includes, how do we procure office space? How do we get lab space? Where will they be doing the engineering work? Will they get the computers? Okay, well, how do you procure computers? Where I work, where I've worked in the past, there have been pretty hard and fast rules on how to buy computers. I can't just go to a website and pull down the latest bargain. Resources could be anything. From automobile company, could be a test track, could be environmental chambers if you're doing testing there. You have to line up those resources, and sometimes the waiting list is long for, let's say, if you're trying to get on a shaker table. Then you need to plan this, and it's going to blend in with our schedule. Those are different sessions. But we need certain resources simply to do the work. Now, an organization will have a way to reserve these. They'll have guidance on how to do the work. Usually there's office space. Sometimes there's not. And a lot of people are working remotely. But the where, how, and with what, those are questions that if we can ask those, we're going to be asking the right questions in order to ultimately get work done. Because if we have the money and no computers and all the people are busy for the next 6 months, our customer's going to wonder, do we have our act together? So, all right, you're going to be able to forward your career. You're going to just have that expertise that leadership likes to see. If you can take this bigger picture in and just learn a little bit about the operational flow, how does it all work? And if you can really master this, you're going to be known as someone who can move work forward through the organization as it is. You know, you don't have to change it in order to get things done. You just going with the flow. And you know, final note on that: the people who help us get our engineering job done, they expect us to behave a certain way. They expect our work to be done a certain way. They expect our requests to be in a certain format, even. And if we alter from that, if we drift too far from that, we're just going to confuse them. They're not going to be able to help. They might not even want to help, because most of the world, I think, is just trying to do their job and feed their families. You know, we're just going to get a lot of conflict, even if we have, you know, the advanced degree or we have the credentials or the experience elsewhere. So people are expecting things to look a certain way, and if we can understand what that is, we're going to have more success. Maybe we can change it downstream. I don't recommend trying to change it up front, but understanding this is just going to help us out. Hey, message me if this is of interest, if you have more questions, if this resonates, and I'll see you in the next session.